أعوذ بالله السميع العليم من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله وعلى آله وأصحابه وسلم تسليما كثيرا. أما بعد, السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. Alhamdulillah, we thank Allah, the creator of the heaven and the earth. Inshallah, we are going to continue the seerah of our beloved Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. In last video, we talked about the wives of Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, the mother of the believers. And we mentioned that Prophet ﷺ married 11 wives. He married 11 wives. And so, inshallah, we're going to go over those names quickly before we talk about today's lesson. Today's lesson, we're going to talk about the expulsion of Banu Nadeir, meaning the expelling of Banu Nadeir, inshallah. But before we get there, let's go quickly over the wives of Prophet ﷺ. We said the first wife was Khadija bint Khuwaylid. Prophet ﷺ married her in Mecca. Prophet was 25 years old and she was about 40, according to many scholars. So, and she passed away in Mecca before Prophet made hijrah to Medina. So that was the first wife. And the second wife was Sauda bint Zama'a. We talked about her also. She was the second. And number three, Aisha bint Abi Bakr, the daughter of Abu Bakr Siddiq. Aisha was the third wife. And the fourth one was Hafsa bint Umar, the daughter of Umar ibn al-Khattab. She was the number four. And number five was Zainab bint Khuzaymah. Zainab bint Khuzaymah was number five. And we talked about Zainab also. And she was the first wife of Prophet, passed away in Medina. So when she married Prophet ﷺ, only after a few months she passed away. That's why, there's not much about her. So because she passed away early. So and she was the first wife of Prophet passed while Prophet was alive, in Medina. But overall, the first wife that passed away was Khadija, but she passed away in Mecca. But as of Zainab bint Khuzaymah, she passed away in Medina, and she was the first one passing away in Medina. Okay, so she's number five. As of number six, Salama Hind bint Abu Umayyah. Salama was number six. We talked about her a lot. And number seven was Zainab bint Ja'sh. Zainab bint Ja'sh, we're going to come to her, inshallah, in some video. We're going to talk about her a lot because Surah Al-Ahzab is pretty much about her, how she became Prophet's wife, inshallah. So we're going to come to that. So that's Zainab bint Ja'sh. She's number seven. And number eight is Juwayriya bint al-Haris. Juwayriya bint al-Haris. And she's from Banu Mustaliq. She's from Banu Mustaliq. We're going to talk about Banu Mustaliq hopefully in our next video, not this one, but next video. So Juwariya was number eight. And number nine, Habiba bint Abi Sufyan, the daughter of Abu Sufyan. She's number nine. And number 10 is Safiya bint Huyay. So Safiya bint Huyay, we're going to talk about her today. She's the daughter of the chief of the Banu Nadir. So we're going to talk about Banu Nadir today. How Banu Nadir was the expulsion, how they got expelled, from Medina, from the fortress. So we're going to talk about that. So how Safiya became the wife of Prophet. But we're going to talk about that down the line. So inshallah. So Safiya is number 10. And number 11 is Maimuna bint Haris. And we said Maimuna, she's the half sister of Zainab bint Khuzaymah. We said Prophet married Zainab bint Khuzaymah. Only a few months she passed away. She's the first woman passing away in Medina. So her half sister later on, she's going to marry Prophet also. So her name is Maimuna bint Haris. So these are the number 11 wives of Prophet ﷺ. But as of married to Al-Qibti, according to many scholars, she was a slave of Prophet, so he didn't marry her. There's no evidence that he married her. So anyway, now that we cover the wives of Prophet ﷺ, we're gonna go to Banu Nadir. And We mentioned that in Medina there were three big tribes of three big Jewish tribes in Medina. The first one was Banu Qaynuqa, and Prophet expelled them right after Badr. So Prophet kicked them out in Medina, the first tribe of Jewish tribe, which is Banu Qaynuqa. They were expelled after Badr. We talked about that. So now we're coming to the second uh, tribe of the Jewish community, Banu Nadir. And the third one, the third group of Jewish tribe in Medina is Banu Qurayza. We're going to come to Banu Qurayza later on. But right now we are going to talk about Banu Nadir, the second large group of Jewish community in Medina. So how these people, Banu Nadir, got expelled? How, why the expulsion took place? We mentioned in our last, no, it was two video before that the battle of Bi'ru Raji and Bi'ru Ma'un, the two wells that Muslims scholars were massacred by certain groups. There were many Muslims, lost their life. Maybe about 80 of them. When you combine both Bi'ru Ma'un and Bi'ru Raji, we say about 80 Muslim Sahaba, you know, um, were betrayed and and massacred. So we talked about that, and we said there was one survivor who came back, and his name was Amr ibn Umayyah, um, and so in his way back, you know, because he was the only survivor at that time. So when in his way back, he met two people from the same tribe that killed, the Muslim, the tribe of Abu Amir, of Banu Amir. So in his way back, when he met the two guys from this tribe, he didn't want them to find out who he is. So later on, he killed both of them. So when he came to Prophet ﷺ, he explained what happened, and Prophet said, "No, these two people, they came to seek protections from Muslim, so you shouldn't be killing them." And he said, "Well, it was a mistake. It's a manslaughter. When you kill someone by mistake, it's called manslaughter. By definition." So, and Prophet decided to pay the blood money to this tribe, to the tribe of Banu Amir. And we said the blood money for one person, one manslaughter, would be 100 camel. So he killed two, so that would be 200 camel. So now, and Prophet, had to pay that blood money. We talked about that in two videos before. So, according to the constitution of Medina, when Prophet first come to Medina, we talked about that too also. So he established something. He has established some alliances between Jewish and Arab. So he said, we as a citizen of Medina, if an outside force comes in and trying to invade the place, Medina, we all would come together and fight the enemy. It doesn't matter whether you're Jewish or Muslims or Arabs or whatever. We all come together and fight the enemy. That was part of the Constitution. And also, if someone manslaughter somebody, if someone mistakenly kills somebody by accident, then we all come together as a community and help that person pay the blood money. That was part of the Constitution also. So since this happened, Prophet decided to go to Banu Nadir to ask them to help pay the blood money of the two people that got killed from Banu Amir. So when Prophet got there, he went there with some Sahaba, Abu Bakr and Umar and other Sahaba. So once they got to Banu Nadir, Banu Nadir, they have a huge, 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 many acres of date palm tree. They have a date palm land, palm tree lands, vast, huge. So that's where they make their money. And usually, the Jewish tribe, what they do, once they have this date palm tree, like a huge farm, Right in the middle of the farm, they would construct a big, huge fortress. They would build like a humongous fortress to live in that fortress. So that would be more like their protection. So that's how the Jewish people back in that time used to do. So Prophet, when he came to Banu Nadir, and they said, "Oh well, it's about time you come to us for our help. But since we didn't know you were coming, can you just give us some time? Just wait here, sit, by the fortress. You gotta wait for us. We're gonna go in and we're coming back, but we're gonna figure that out. How we're gonna help you?" And Prophet said, "No problem." So Prophet sat right, against the, he sat by the wall, under the wall of the fortress. So when the Jewish people got in the Banu Nadir, they got together and they start making plans. They start plotting to kill Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. And they start talking. And some of them said, "This is the greatest opportunity for us to just get rid of him. He's just sitting under the fortress. All we have to do, let us just go on top of the fortress, take a bowl, a big rock, and drop it on his head, and that's it. If we kill him, then we solve our problem. If they ask for blood money, we have money to pay for the blood money, so we don't have to worry about it." So they come to that. They decide now they're going to kill Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. Allahu Akbar. So right away, Jibril alayhi salam, the angel Jibril came down and informed Prophet about what these people are planning. And Jibril told Prophet to just leave. Don't even turn your back, just leave. Go back to Medina. So Prophet stood up and started walking away. So when Sahaba saw Prophet just walking away, they could not understand anything. So they decided to follow Prophet till they got to Medina. And when they asked him why he left, he said, "Jibril just informed me about the plot of this Yahud. They plot to kill me. That was their plan. They gathered together to get a big bowl of rock and drop it on my head." Allahu Akbar. So then Prophet ﷺ, he sent a messenger back to Banu Nadir, Jewish tribe, to inform them what they have done. And this messenger, his name was Muhammad ibn Maslama. And Muhammad ibn Maslama was one of those three people who killed Ka'b ibn Ashraf. Because the Banu Nadir, they had some, they had some resentment against Muslim. Why? Because Ka'b ibn Ashraf was among them. Remember Ka'b ibn Ashraf, half Yahudi, half Arab. His father was Arab and his mother was Yahud. Because according to the Jewish tradition, for you to be a Jewish, your mother has to be Jewish. As long as your mother is Jewish, you are Jewish. But according to everyone else, if your father is Arab, or your father is African, or whatever your father is, that's who you are. See, but for Jewish, it's different. So this man, Ka'b ibn Ashraf, he was both. So meaning he has the best of both worlds. His father was Arab, so the Arab considered him Arab, and his mother was Jewish, so the Jewish considered him Jewish. And he was a rich, wealthy man, very handsome. He had his own fortress, so he conducted business, but he plotted so many things against Islam, and he helped even Quraysh, to plot against Muslim and so forth, and that's why he got killed. Remember that story? We talked about that. So that Ka'b ibn Ashraf is from the same tribe, Banu Nadir. So people from Banu Nadir, they had all this in the back of their mind, they what had happened to them, and what Islam, Muslim, particularly Prophet ﷺ, what he has done against their tribe and stuff like that. So they see that as an opportunity to get rid of him. So Muhammad ibn Maslama, as a messenger from Prophet, said to them, "Oh, Prophet, he uncovered everything you have done, all your plot. He knew about it, and this is what you guys did and did. You plan to kill him, this and that. So, and then then Muslim Muhammad bin Maslama told the Jewish Banu Nadir that Prophet is telling me to tell you, you have 10 days to leave Medina. You have 10 days to leave your fortress and get all the belonging, everything you could carry with you. Just take it and leave. If after 10 days you don't leave, then if you get killed, you search it. If anyone after 10 days, then they would be killed. Then when Muhammad bin Maslama told that to the leader of Banu Nadir, who was Huyay ibn Akhtab, and they said to Maslama, I mean, you are our allies. We've been together before this man even come to Medina, which I mean they're referring to the Prophet. So are you gonna let him kick us out? Are you gonna let him expel us? And Muhammad bin Maslama said, there's nothing I can do. When Islam comes, Islam changed everything. So my loyalty is with Muslim, not with you. I'm just a messenger. Then Muhammad bin Maslama gave them the message and leave. Then later on, um, the head of the hypocrite, Abdullah ibn Ubay ibn Salul, we talk about him. He was the one who, Prophet ﷺ, when he was going to Uhud, he left with 1,000 soldiers, 1,000 warrior with him. But this man, Abdullah ibn Ubay ibn Salul, he was able to convince 300 to leave the army. That hypocrite, when that's him, that's Abdullah ibn Ubay ibn Salul. When he heard that Prophet gave 10 days to Banu Nadir to leave, he sent messenger. He didn't even go himself. He sent a messenger to Banu Nadir to inform them, to let them know that he would support them. They're not going anywhere. If they go, he would go with them. If they decide to fight, he would help them, fight the Muslim. As a matter of fact, he has alliances with a tribe called Ghatafan. We talked about Ghatafan in our last, the last video. So the tribe of Ghatafan. So he said he would go to Ghatafan and and get 2,000 strong warriors to come help Banu Nadir against the Muslim. So he made all these promises to Banu Nadir not to leave. So once Banu Nadir received this message from Ubay ibn Salul, their chief, Huyay ibn Akhtab, decided not to leave. He said, okay, so now we have a help, so we don't have to go anywhere. And they sent a messenger, meaning Banu Nadir sent messenger to the Prophet now to tell him that they're not leaving. They said they told Prophet we're not leaving. We decide to stay, so do whatever you please. Whatever you can do, just go ahead. We're not leaving. Allahu Akbar. So the minute they said that to Prophet, the messenger said that to Prophet said, Allahu Akbar. So he said, Allahu Akbar. And all the Sahaba around him, they all said, Allahu Akbar. Why? Because they realized this is just a war booty. This is just a war spoil. Allah just, so Banu Nadir, Allah is going to give Banu Nadir to the Muslims easily. So right away, Prophet galvanized, he gathered some Sahabis. He gathered Muslims straight to Banu Nadir. They didn't even wait. So from from the city of Medina to Banu Nadir, it's just a few hours walking distance. So people from Banu Nadir, they were not expecting Prophet to be right out their gate. They were expecting Prophet, even if he has to come, it would be maybe a few days. So in the meantime, they would be able to prepare themselves and wait for the help from Ghatafan as they were promised by Ubay ibn Salul. But that was not the case. Prophet ﷺ was able to be there on the same day and then siege the entire fortress. So the Muslims surround the fortress now. And when Banu Nadir saw Muslims surrounding the fortress, they were so shocked. Wow, how is this man was able to gather all these people just like that and bring them here? Now they wait. Banu Nadir are now they're waiting for um, Ubay ibn Salul to bring the help now. And then Allah is going to mention that in Surah Al-Hashr. Allah is going to mention that in Surah Al-Hashr. So inshallah, we're going to go over Surah Al-Hashr today. That way it would help you understand the entire story of Banu Nadir. So when Prophet surrounded the Banu Nadir, and some people said the siege, end 10 days. Some said seven to 10 days. But in the meantime, Prophet ﷺ left one group, to guard Banu Nadir so they won't come out. In the meantime, Prophet took another group to go see the third group of Yahud, Banu Qurayza. Why Prophet did that? Because remember, each group of Yahud has alliance with Prophet ﷺ. They will not betray him. They will not break the promises. They will always abide to the constitution and stuff like that. So Prophet went back to Banu Qurayza to remind them about the constitution. When Prophet got there, he told them, he said, "Okay, now Banu Nadir, the alliances. They broke the covenant. So I'm dealing with them now. But as for you, are you going to break your promise? Are you going to abide by the rules and the constitution? If you want to break the alliances, go ahead and do it now. I'm not going to fight you or anything. But if you want to break it, just do it now. But if you want to keep your alliances, it's up to you. But if you break it, the consequences would be even much tougher than Banu Nadir. Allahu Akbar. And these people, they said, no, we're not going to break any promises. We always, we have integrity to keep our words. We're not going to break any alliances. We're going to always obey the constitutions and this and that, whatever. And Prophet said, third time, think about it. If you want to break off, fine. But if you want to keep the alliances and then break it later, it's going to be tough. And they said, no, we're going to keep our alliances. But this group of people, later on, inshallah, we're going to come to that in the battle of the trench, the Ahzab. This Banu Qurayza, the third group, they're going to betray Muslim, the worst betrayer ever. That's why Prophet is going to execute them, but we're not there yet. But since they promised Prophet ﷺ they're not gonna help Banu Nadir and they're not gonna break their promises, Prophet said, okay, fine. So Prophet went back to Banu Nadir again to join their group, the other group. So, and then 1 day passed, 2 days passed, 3 days passed. So what Prophet did, since this Banu Nadir had like a date palm tree, huge farmland, Prophet decided to burn down some group of palm trees. Allahu Akbar. So when the Yahud saw the farmlands are being burned, some of them are being burned so they couldn't take it anymore. Why? Because think about it. A palm tree, a date palm tree, if you plant a date palm tree, it would take 5 to 8 years before they start, giving fruits. For it to ripe, to become like a real date, fresh date, it would take about 5 to 8 years. So imagine you growing your plants, your date palm tree. You harvesting it. You putting waters so they could grow. 5 years, 8 years of hard work, and someone just come in and burn down. So not only they see their money, their their money burning down, but they see their effort, the effort they're putting into that plant, into that uh, farms. Some of them have been burned down, so they can take it. And they said, "How can you call yourself a prophet? How can you call yourself a reconciliator, someone who want peace, but yet you go ahead and burn down our farmland?" So they can take it. Even some of the Muslims start thinking that way because they said, well, sooner or later, the Yahud, they're going to be out. We're going to kick them out. So all this farmland would belong to us. So why we are burning it? Because it's going to be for us anyway. So we don't need to burn it. Some of them start thinking that way, and Allah is going to address that. Allah decide why Allah support the burning of some of the tree, and Allah is going to talk about it in Surah Al-Hashr, inshallah. So when they saw that happening, they couldn't take it. So 7 or 10 days later, they decided to surrender, to give up. And Prophet told them, so you could pick anything you could carry, pick all of any belonging you could carry and leave. What a generosity from Prophet. Prophet was so generous with them. Why? Because they decided to kill. They wanted to kill him. So if someone wanted to kill him, if you kill them, so it's a self defense. But yet Prophet didn't want to kill none of them. He said, "Yes, you wanted to kill me, but all I want you to do is just leave." And not only that, but carry anything, take anything you could carry and leave. What a generosity! So this Yahud, they start packing their stuff, their belonging. They have so many treasure hidden under the fortress. So they start digging holes and getting all the fortress. Even though the children, the kids, couldn't carry anything, they had to leave. They have to walk because their camels were carrying all the burden, all the treasures and their belonging and stuff like that. So before they left, they decided to demolish their fortresses. And Allah is going to talk about that in Surah Al-Hashr. Why they're demolishing their own building, their own structures of fortress? Because they don't want the Muslim to inherit that. They don't want Muslim to get the fortress when they left. To build one fortress, it takes years and years and years. But they're demolishing, they're destroying their own fortress. And that's the punishment from Allah. So, but as of the leader of the Banu Nadeir, Huyay ibn Akhtab, Sophia, the, the future wife of Prophet ﷺ, she narrated this story. So I'm just going to mention this story quickly before I come to Surah Al-Hashr. I'm going to go over Surah Al-Hashr in Quran, inshallah, so that way you would link the Seerah with the Quran. But before that, Sophia narrated that she remembered when she was very young. Um, when she was very young, her father, Huyay ibn Akhtab, and her uncle, um, and her uncle Yazid, they heard that someone came to Medina and he claimed himself to be a prophet. So Sophia said her father and her uncle decided to go check on that person to see if it is true. So when they went to Medina, and later on in the evening they came back home, and Sophia said, "I was very young, and my father used to love me. So every time he would come home, I would run, I would run toward him. He would carry me and give me, things. But this day, I run to my." Sophia is saying, he said she ran to her father, and her father didn't even look at her, and her uncle didn't even look at her, and that's when she knew something was not right. And then she heard her uncle is asking her father. He said, "Ahu, is he the one?" Meaning the last prophet. And the father Huyay replied by saying, "E wallahi huwa hu. I swear by Allah, he is the last prophet. He is the one." Everything. That was described about him. He has all of the descriptions. And then the uncle said, "So what are we gonna do?" And then Huyay ibn Akhtab said, "Wallahi, I swear to Allah, we will never ever follow him ever, because he's not one of us. We thought he was gonna be one of the Jewish, the last one, last prophet. That's how we used to threaten all this Arab that when the last prophet comes, we're gonna kill all of you. But how come the last prophet would be an Arab? If we agree or if we follow him, all the Arabs look at us as the leaders, as the more knowledgeable people, and they are the backward people. But if we follow this messenger, the Arab would, take the lead, and we would become the lower people. Allahu Akbar. Look at his envy. So Sophia says, since she heard this from her own father, she knew this was the real prophet. Allahu Akbar. But they still don't want to follow him. But that's when later on we're going to talk about it. After when Prophet ﷺ conquered Khaybar and Sophia was captured, and then she, she became Muslim and became Prophet wives later on. We're going to talk about that, inshallah. So this is what happened. So the Jewish, this tribe, they took all their belonging and they start walking away. And people from Medina, they could see this Jewish huge tribe living. You know, according to some narration, few Jewish people, they converted to Islam, and Prophet gave back their belonging to them. But the bulk majority of them did not embrace Islam, so they all left. So when they left, where did they go? They went to Khaybar. There was another big tribe of Jewish community, but that was far away from Medina. So that place is called Khaybar. That's where they went. So Banu Nadir, most of the Banu Nadir went there, including their chief, Huyay ibn Akhtab. So, and what's going to happen there, inshallah, once we get there, we're going to talk about that. So this is how they got exposed. The expulsion took place. This is how they got expelled because of what they have done. They plot against Prophet ﷺ to assassinate him. So then, once they left, the belonging, some of the treasure they left behind, their farmland, the date palm land. Then the Muslims start asking questions. What are we going to do with this? Wow, what a land! And then Allah is going to answer that in Surah Al-Hashr. So some of them said, wow, so I hope we're going to get many lands in this and stuff like that. And Allah said, no, this is belongs to Allah, this is belongs to Prophet, this belongs to the orphan, the wayfarers, the poor people and stuff like that. So we're going to talk about that also. And so basically, ghanima, because this war, I mean this war booty, or you could say warfare or war spoil. This is a little different than the ghanima. We talk about the ghanima. Ghanima is when the Muslim army got together, they fight the disbeliever. They shed blood. So whatever they got on that war is called ghanima. But as fight is another ruling that Surah Al-Hashr is going to talk about. Fight is a war spoil in which nobody fights. No Muslim fight non-Muslim nobody kills anyone, literally. So that's what happened in this war because the Jewish they didn't there was no fighting. The Muslims just surrounded the castle. I mean the fortress, and the Jews were terrified, so they left. They took some of the belonging and left some of them they could not carry. So whatever they left and whatever their farmlands belongs to the Muslim, but it's not the same as ghanima. So Allah is going to give the ruling how that money should be distributed, inshallah. But once we go through Surah Al-Hashr, I'm going to be able to I'll talk about that maybe in little details, inshallah. So but before we tackle Surah Al-Hashr, because when Surah Al-Hashr came down, Ibn Abbas refused to call it Surah Al-Hashr. He said it should be called Surah Banu Nadeir. Why? Because pretty much the majority of the surah talk about Banu Nadeir, how the story went. So, and inshallah, we are going to talk about Banu Nadir, Surah Al-Hashr, um, to be able to connect the Seerah and the Quran, inshallah.